Oh, I forgot my remote. Grab that real quick. Air conditioning just changed and hit me. No, I forgot something. I forgot my remote for the AC unit. Alright. Hey everybody, welcome aboard. Captain Mike here. I'm trying something a little different with the camera. I've got it up a little bit closer, a little higher. Give you more of a view out the front. As a little closer up as well. I'm in X-Plane 12 today. Right now I don't have a view of the YouTube chat, so if you're typing, I don't see it right now the way I have everything set up. Once I get going, I'll be able to get in there and take a look at any of the comments that may be there. But I always appreciate the company for those of you that join me on a regular basis. I appreciate it. Alright, with that said, with X-Plane 12, I can give you so much more data that you're going to see behind both of these seats. I have the primary flight display that's going to show up that matches mine here, as well as the nav display. That's going to be your center monitor there on the bottom. And I also have the upper and lower multifunction display that I can give you there as well, depending on how I have my main panel to use set up. Above that, I have the mode control panel, so you'll be able to keep track of any changes that I make here. I know it's a little difficult to see this stuff from the camera, so that should make it a lot easier. The CDU is in the center. It's basically covering the pedestal right now. Once the programming is done, then I'll get rid of that and you'll be able to see the pedestal. And as far on the right hand side of the screen, the way I have it set up right now, you can see the load data sheet. And as we go along in the flight, I don't need the load data sheet anymore. I'll be able to drop that from the view. You have the electronic flight bag here. So as I make changes in the electronic flight bag here on my display, you'll be able to see the changes taking place there. Plus, as I load in the payload and whatnot, when we get ready to go, you'll be able to see that as well. Once we're done with the electronic flight bag, you'll have Navigraph charts, and then as I change the charts, you should be able to follow along as we're going along during this ride. And during the approach on the back end of this flight, I also have the front view that I can give you. I'll give you a better view on the way in. So that's basically the way I have this set up. I'm hoping that this all plays nice and works the way it's supposed to. Let me see if I can fix that Navigraph from here. I don't think I can. I might need my mouse to do that. Let me just fix that real quick and then we'll get going. Alright, I believe all that is now set up. So let me have this sheet for me. And right now I'm running cold and dark. I've got the Zibo Mod, the latest version in here. And I have the latest from FDS to XP, as well as ZHSI for my glass screens. And I've updated X-Plane all around. So this should be the latest and greatest that's out. And I'm starting cold and dark because I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything and that everything in here is actually working. So let's get started. You should have the load data sheet, and as I move around here you should be able to follow along. I just loaded a new version of Duet, so I'm hoping that's going to play nice. Alright, I'm getting a little winded already. Let's get started, shall we? Now, I'm usually pretty good, but I miss things, and I don't want to miss anything this go around. So this is my flow data sheet. There's no link down there, but this is available on xplane.to if you want to go grab it. Alright, dispatch load data sheet acquired. We've got it. It's right there on your right hand screen. DC voltmeter selected to bat. DC battery switch on. Got it. Standby power switch is auto guarded. And alternate flaps off guarded. Fuel pump switches are off. Wipers left and right are set to park. Hydraulic pumps electric 2 and 1 are off. Landing gear lever is down. We've got 3 green and 3 green on the aft overhead. Weather radar to test. And fire warning. Master caution reset. Fault in up. And overheat fire. Very good. Okay, ground power is available. We're going to go on ground power. And we're going to take the AC selector and put it to ground power. Confirm that we're on ground power. And bleed panel. We're going to get set right now for unconditioned air. The aircraft's been parked all night, so we're going to get those packs to auto. Isolation valve is open, and that is looking pretty good. Electrical panel check set. We're going to put the galley power to on. IRS select is align nav, so we're going to align our IRS. Emergency exit lights are armed. Air conditioning panel as required. I've got my remote right here, but I don't have a back of a deck, so I don't think that they're going to be an issue. They're all set to auto. CDU, enter present position. Now you should have the CDU on your screen. Let me just make sure it's up there. Yes, let me make sure that's going to follow along. Looks like it is, and we're going to enter our position. And we're in Trenton, KTTN. We'll put that in, and we'll grab from the left GPS. And we're going to make sure that the coordinates here, 4016, and we have 07449, those coordinates match that's in the database for the airport, for the reference airport we put in. So that's good, so we're going to put that in. Alright, so flaps. Flaps are up. We have an up indication here, and they're showing up on the aft overhead. Parking brake is set. We're going to set the parking brake. Want to make sure that we've got enough pressure there, which we do. And let's set that brake. And I'm going to go ahead and put ground services. And we're going to set those chocks again. I like to have them in there until we're ready to go. And exterior lights. So we're going to put the position lights on. It's actually not that bad out today. And that takes care of the originator flight. And we're going to continue on with the pre-flight. And for those of you on YouTube, if you're typing anything, I don't see it right now. I don't have access to that screen with the setup that I have here. Once I get everything set up, I'll be able to glance at that and take a look at any of the text that may be there. I'm just hoping that all this stuff in the background is going to work the way I have it set up, and this is going to work well. If it does, then I can check MS 2020 either later today or tomorrow, and then I'll be able to flip back and forth between the two sims, which is going to be pretty cool. Alright, we're going to continue with the pre-flight. So, leading edge devices test, and we have lights, service interphone, and the engine reversers are extinguished, EEC switches are unguarded, crew oxygen is 12,000, passenger oxygen is normal guarded, flight recorder test, Mach speed 1 and 2. I don't know if it's too early for stall warning, we'll come back for that. We've got 3 green on the landing gear, PSEU is out, and let's check our oxygen flow. Oxygen flow is good, and let's check our lights. And this is really the first look that I'm having at the latest Zibo Mod, so I just want to make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to. So far, everything is looking good across the board. It's looking good. Alright, now, I just don't want to bump into this camera the way I have it set up for you guys. Alright, flight controls A and B are unguarded, alternate flaps are off guarded, spoilers A and B are unguarded, your damper is coming on. VHF nav is normal, IRS is normal, FMC is normal, source selector is auto for the displays, and control panel set to normal. Fuel temperature is fine, cross feed check. That's good. Fuel pumps are good. And AC/DC panel is set. Equipment cooling is set normal. Emergency exit lights are on. No smoking seatbelt signs coming on. And let's put on window heat. And let's run the overheat test. Let that run. TAT test is good. Wing anti-ice, engine anti-ice are off. And electric 1 and 2 and hydraulic pumps are off. And we've got 3 entryways open, forward, and a 2 cargo. And test on the cockpit voice recorder. And the pressurization panel's looking good. We're not getting any erroneous numbers, being that we're at the gate with the door open. AC panel is fine. The temperature's looking good. And let's get set up here. We are good here. Let's reset the master caution. Overheat test. Air condition, master caution, and wing body. Very good. That is set. Today's flight is flight level 370. And our land altitude is set. Alright. Alternate, manual, open. Okay. We are good there. And lights. We're good. And first flight of the day. Alright, that should take us up to programming the flight management computer. So how about we roll right into that. And again, those of you that are on YouTube, if you're typing anything, I really can't tell from here. But we're just going to continue along. I'll get to that in a bit if there's anything there. Alright, let's get this flight management computer programmed. I'm going to need this chart now, and you should be good the way you're set up there. Alright, let me get that out of the way for now. Okay, route. So we're in Trenton, and we're going to KPIE. KPIE. And this is what, an elegant air flight? So it's AAY, and the flight number is 4553. And I could put in the company route, but we're going to run through this whole thing step by step as we go through the load data sheet here. So that's done. We're going to put in our departure. And let's go take a look at our routing here. And we've got runway 6 on the way out. And we're going direct to OOD. And on the arrival, we have into Clearwater, Dates 1. And we've got Mammoth into 36. And transition by. Okay, let's get that in. Let's take a look and put in our data now. So we've got direct OOD. Then TB, TEBEE, then Haydo, HAYDO, and then Tripod, and Clipper, right, yeah, PLR, Guild, D's, Mr. Pitt, Oni, Seisu, J. Ross, Coney, Isuzu, right, Zio, Puppy, and then Beth, and then Corey, Capo, Edish, Olin, Marvy, Cokes, Dates, Gaspar, and then we're on our way in. Let's have a look. And let's have a look at that as well. Let's bring that up so you can see the charts here. Bring that up. I got fat fingers. Sorry about that. Alright, you should have that chart now. And we take a look at the SID. You see there's no SID on the left hand side there. So we're heading direct. And that shouldn't be in there. 36, we should have. We'll take the 210. Where did my entire flight just go? Something weird going on here. My entire flight just disappeared. It's not in 2, right? No. My whole flight just disappeared. Look at that. That's okay. Yeah, it wiped everything out. I'm gonna have to put that all in again. Interesting. Alright. KTTN. Okay. Oh, I kept the flight number and the flight plan. Runway still in there. The arrival is still in there. And yet it didn't even put it in. That's right. That's right. Let's put this thing in again. And let me change that screen for you so you can follow along again. Sorry about that. And load data sheet. And I need that sheet as well. That was very strange. And what I should have done is I should have downloaded the file. I was going to do this by hand for everybody, and I should have downloaded it. Right.
Departure for Gary 3461 2003. We got 3461, you're to contact. They contact back on right heading 240. Right heading 240, Hotel Bravo 346.
Wrong spot.
So they contact back on the 7,000. How much is 7,000?
Unless my fat fingers hit the wrong button. I don't get why I did that. Left turn to 290, turn to 10, 10,000. 10, 2000, 10,000. 10,000. All right, 373, climb to 10, 10,000. Climb to 10,000, sorry, 373. All right.
Good afternoon, United. 1.5, 8,000. That's 616 over to contact.
And in the back end should be in here.
That's 1556, turn left, direct Elbe, 118, 5,000. That's direct Elbe up to 5,000.
Let's reselect it again. Alright, let's check this again. Coney. What's going on there? DB, Hey-Do, Tripod, Clipper, Guild, D's, Mr. Pitt. Okay, D, Seisu, J. Ross, Coney, Yasu,
4,000 left, 300, United 79
Yasu. There's the mistake. P-U-P-Y-Y. Right after puppy is you. J. Ross, Coney, Suzu, Puppy, Corey. That takes us into Gaspar. Alright, now let's take a look at that. Let's bring up charts for you now. And I want on the back end pie. Let's check this. We're getting picked up at, right, Corey, Capone, Edison, Oline, Marvy, Coco, Dates, and Gaspar. Yes, and I said we had 3-6 on the way in. Let's have a look at that as well. And we're left off at Gaspar. And we're coming out, going around, and coming back in again. So that's good right there. That's fine. Gaspar, in, out, making a U-turn and heading on back in. And if we miss, we're holding at 26. I do believe that looks good now. Boy, that was painful. Okay, now let's bring up the load data sheet first. Because we're going to put in our weight. And I want, oh, wrong one. I'm thinking of MS 2020. We're going to put in our weight and balance now. So if we take a look at the load data sheet, our block fuel is 216.76. And we'll put in our fuel. Direct Delta, departure 2475. 218.76. And if we come back here and take a look at our payload, I come in here and I grab the estimated zero fuel weight. which is 122.1.
Commander 5 Kilo, Southern 1810, 10,000. Climb maintain 10, 10,000.
So if we go to page 2, and we put in our total payload, fat fingers, what did I say that number was? 122.1. Put that in. 0, oh wait, I don't want the 0 fuel weight. Wrong program. I do that for MS 2020. I'm sorry about that. And bring you to payload here. Okay, here's our payload right here. Our payload is 27.1. Let me see if I have that up for you so you can see it. You can't see it. There's the payload. Payload right there is showing 27.1. So here, payload total, we'll put 27.1. Into that, it puts all our passengers in, and it loads up our cargo. And we got a CG of 26.2. Alright, so that's done. So now we can come back into our FMC and go into our... And let me give you the load data sheet again here. And give that to me. I hope this is working out, oh well. I really can't tell from here. I don't have access to the screens right now. So our 0 fuel weight should be 122.1. Alright, our reserve for this, our final reserve is 2.2. Cost index is 18, which is what I selected for the flight. Our flight level is 370. Our cruise winds are going to be top of climb. We have our cruise winds at 269 at 104. And that is going to be 3. That looks pretty good. Let's put in, oh, don't need that. Oh, I didn't put in our plan, did I? And our plan, we can put that in as well. Minimum takeoff is 21.4. Okay, we're not going to derate, and we have our CG at 26.2. We said this is going to be a flaps 5 takeoff. It looks like it's going to be 147. So engine out, and let's get our runway winds. And 030 at 7. Okay, and let's get our ISA deviation, and at clear water we're looking at 3012. And what's our average ISA? 4 and 3012. Don't have to worry about any anti-ice. We'll do 20,000, 15,000, and we'll do 10,000. And back to the bottom again. Alright, so at 20 we got 267 at 28. Oh, At 15, we've got 268 at 13. And at 10, we've got 316 at 7. And that ought to do it. So, let's have one more peek at that. Let me make sure that you guys can see what I'm looking at. That and that looks good. Alright, let's make sure we have no breaks in here. Nothing looks crazy. Gas bar over, out, back and around, and then we're holding. I do believe that is good. Alright, we're set there. Alright, let's continue on. Make sure I don't miss anything here. So far, everything is looking pretty good inside the Zibo Mod so far. Should be up to the pedestal. Radios. Alright, CDUs. Alright, let's get our radios set. And we're not going to need the low data sheet anymore. And we're not going to need you anymore. Let's bring up you.
3425, traffic departure 120.85, maintain 10,000. 185, maintain 10,000, Cricket 3425.
And there is no. I'll bring up Trent. Alright, no Sid.
2317, turn left heading 270.
Okay, and let's see if this is on as well. See if that's on. And let's get you on. That is set. That's working. Okay, so they're good. That's good. That's set. Alright, give me map. Terrain, position, data. Airport and station. Oh. I'm on the master. And data. Airport and and 225. 147. We're going straight up, and that's in already. That's set. That is set. Nose wheel steering is normal. Let's check out the U's. Auto flight. Alright, primary flight display. We've got artificial horizon as level. 45 on the speed tape, 225 on the heading. We've got 147. We've got 37,000, and we have local pressure in here. Let me get in my... And that is good. That is set. I've got terrain on the nav display. And one is set to auto, speed reference set to auto, reset the fuel flow, rejected takeoff is set. Give me the engine data here and systems. That is all looking good. Alright, up. That's all looking good. Well, and let's get that test done.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Crossing. Climb. Climb. Crossing.
And we have fuel all around. Let's get the APU up and running. That test is done.
Descend. Crossing.
And let's check the stall.
Crossing. Descend.
And that's good.
Descend. Descend now. Increase. Climb. Increase. Climb. Increase. Descend. Increase. Descend.
I don't think I set up pushback. That I have to set up, I believe.
Maintain vertical speed. Crossing. Maintain. Monitor vertical speed. TCAS test. Pass.
And ground proximity. Let's do the long test. I haven't done this in a while.
Light slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. In up. Think rate.
So we got our zero fuel weight, we've got our N1s, our reduced, our max, we got our V speeds, right? V1, VR, V2. Stab trim is set.
Too low.
Fuel pumps are coming up. APU, we're starting up right now.
Too low. Flat.
Just got to get the doors buttoned up. We're just about ready to get on out of here.
Light slow. Bank angle. Bank angle.
Approaching decision height. Minimum.
2,500. 1,500.
Ground open, control 400, turning here for ramp.
300.
We don't need the CDU anymore. So let's dump that now.
20. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Too low. Terrain.
APU is up.
Terrain ahead.
Confirm.
Terrain ahead.
And we'll give that a minute.
Obstacle. Obstacle ahead. Pull up.
I think we're just about ready to get on out of here. And I don't think I need that anymore. I might be able to just go right to... oh no, I'm going to need that for push.
I'm asking, do you need full length today?
And what did I say on the way out? We have 6, correct?
That should be a Lima to the end.
So we're going nose left. Let me set up pushback because I don't believe I did that. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Ground Delta 1274, 150.
Just verify with Delta 1254.
It's 1274, 1274.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, I know I forgot something. My wife is out shopping, so... Alright, that's a minute. Let's get the APU up. Let's get these doors buttoned up.
Short of Lima with uniform.
But it's 94 on the ground, runway 9 on left, and like 2, that should be a Lima, Lima 1.
Right, Lima 1 to 9 left. Mike continues Delta 1894. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Actually, Delta 1894 is like 9 left full length, because there'll be a heavy departing full length.
Chocks are off, and let's make sure we are disconnected here. I do believe we are good to go. Alright, so I don't think I need this anymore. Let me shut that down. And let me open up YouTube here. So I have YouTube view.
Connected and white captain in service. Release parking brake.
And I don't need this either.
And you may start engine.
Alright, pack switches. Anti-collision light. And how about I give you the engine data there? I do believe... Oh, actually, you should have it already. We're starting number 2. Let me bring that up in the meantime. I hope all those displays have been working. And we can get rid of you now.
That's 45, 47, 3 south, uniform agent.
Alright, so 2's good. Close. Start number 1.
Number 1, monitor tower 123.85.
25, that's 20, 15, 2326 would be clear of 0.
2326.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, now I have a view of YouTube. Hey, Simply Fic. Aviation nerd, how's it going? Just getting ready to pull out of Trenton. Gonna head on down to Clearwater. I'm running X-Plane 12 today. Oh, and that clock should be going. Getting ready to head on down to Clearwater. Wife's out doing some shopping. And I figured I'd get X-Plane up and running. I've got all my display screens. Hopefully they're all working the way they're supposed to. And let's bring up you real quick. We could dump that.
Noise disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
Oh, you should hopefully have a good view there.
Hold there, at the ramp, just where the 717 back, you got pretty good speed. We'll hold you, but we have
Okay, you. Let's do you. Flight controls all good. I mean TA auto. We already did you. And what do we have here? Exterior lights as needed. We are good there. APU as needed. We're up and running. Oh, you know what? You didn't even finish this, Johnny. Are you getting distracted, pal? And don't need you, and you can come off. That's better. Alright. You know what? Let's run through this whole thing here. Idle detent, yes. Engine generators, yes. We're on 1 right now. Full beat of slip, that's good. Probe heats are on. Hydraulic pumps, electric tool 1 are on. That is set. Exterior lights, we're good. Master caution, we did that. Flaps. Transponder, TA auto. Weather radar to auto. Flight controls are free and clear. We're good to go. Okay. nice having all my gauges working too. That's a beautiful thing. Alright, let me see. And you are all set up on that screen, so I think we are good to go. And give me my map now. We're going to 6, yes. Hope it's going to be a nice smooth ride. And so far I haven't found any issues, being that I've neglected X-Plane 12 for a bit, being that I've been using 2020 quite often. I'm a bit surprised there weren't more issues. Yeah, I definitely need more practice at Pyro, that's for damn sure. Although I did run it in X-Plane, I wanted to see if it was any better, and X-Plane does handle so much better coming into Pyro. Pyro, not sure how you pronounce it, but I'm not sure if that was my third attempt coming in there, if that also had something to do with it. But the feel of X-Plane is just so much better, in my opinion. And I've managed to get rid of most of the stutters in X-Plane and keep my AI traffic, but I had to lower my graphics, believe it or not. Running one computer screen, one monitor, I have to run my LOD at medium. It's amazing. How about we switch on over and we'll get you ready.
Drag 335 heading 270. Heading 270, drag 335. That's 3399, how 18 today. Oh, 3399, 18 today.
Alright, lights. Start select this, you're on. Auto throttle, let me get my clock going. TARA. Attendance, exterior lights, engine start select is auto throttle. Transponder, parking brake, and we're out of here. And since there's no SID here, I'll just make sure you guys are set up. Let me just check your screen. I do believe you are good. Alright, we're out of here. 40%. Stable. Thrust is set. Airspeed's active. I didn't get call-outs the other day on the way in. Let me see if I have them today. I didn't change anything. Couldn't find anything wrong. Check. Throttle hold. I just love the way this aircraft feels, though.
V1, rotate.
It's like driving a Bentley compared to Toyota. Gear up. Ooh. Feel that wind push. And we're coming around. Whoa, whoa. Easy, easy. Don't push, don't push. Don't push. Oh, that's a great view. Beautiful view. Look at this. She almost wants to fly herself. You have her all trimmed out. Beautiful. Man, Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous.
Over to parking guys, what's the score?
I made sure I put real weather back again. Didn't want to forget it. Flaps 1. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And flaps up. Alright, you can have it. Zibo, all you. Actually, Zevon, .3, I actually use both. I'm actually in the process of getting it working with both the X-Plane 12 and MS 2020. But I prefer X-Plane 12, the Zibo Mod, and the physics of X-Plane 12. I prefer MS 2020's visuals. But I'll run both sims. That's basically the goal. I'd have it running all three of them, but I really don't see the need for P3D because I'm probably never going to use it. So how about we get connected here? Follow along there, Johnny. That should be just about in range. And right now, to run X-Plane 12, I'm running a computer for my left visual. The computer's running the center visual, and it's also running as my server. This way I can get my wipers working without a Lewis script. And I have another computer running the right screen. And then I have one doing all the recording. When I run MS 2020, I run one computer, runs the whole show with the exception of 2 CDUs. That's 10. Climbing beautifully. And what do we have? Autopilot's engaged, attendance notified, yep. Pressurization and temp monitor, yep. Engine bleeds, 2 and 1 are on, yes they are. Pack switches left and right to auto, yes they are. APU is off, exterior lights as needed, we are good. Engine start selectors is needed, they're off. Auto brake selector is off, landing gear is up and off. Next is 18,000 for standard pressure. Well, thanks, Evan, I appreciate it. Another plus for X-Plane, at least for those that may be looking on, watching the videos, I can supply a lot more data behind the seats where you would only see the back of a seat. Where I can't give you the primary flight display, the nav display, my multifunction displays, the MCP. I can't give you all that data in MS 2020. It just won't allow for it. For this entire setup, basically the flight deck, the computers, the monitors, the networking, the whole kit and caboodle, you're looking at $100 grand. But I had this professionally built by Flightdeck Solutions. So I don't know if you know that company. It's a company up in Canada, and they make professional flight decks for aviation schools and professional companies. So you can probably do it a lot cheaper if you have skills. If you can cut wood, drill holes, make cutouts, you can do it a lot cheaper yourself. And nowadays there's a lot more companies out there that are selling all this stuff. So the competition is there, so the prices are going to drop with a lot of these companies. And the technology, I'm sure, is a little bit better now than it was way back when. I had this built 8 years ago. I'm using USB connectors. Now there's Ethernet. So it's actually pretty smooth, so we'll let them run around. And we got, what, a 43 knot wind just about head. And that's 18 standard pressure, right? Altimeter is at 2992, 1013, and monitor. So from cold and dark up through 18, Zibo and X-Plane have been beautiful. No issues with the setup. And I believe all the glass screens and the maps and everything else I have working as well worked out pretty good. So, which means tomorrow I will probably be back in MS 2020 just to make sure I didn't screw up anything there. Well, I'll probably take a break after this run, and I'll take a look at that tonight and maybe do a run in 2020 tomorrow. Maybe I'll do the return flight from Clearwater back to Trent in 2020. That should be in range. So what are we looking at? We've got 97 miles to top a climb, and we've got 862 miles to go. And we can switch over now. A little bit of rocking going on there. I got him. 9 o'clock. Isn't on by. He's 5 miles out though. And he's on his way down. The clouds look a little bit too much like cotton balls though. Probably even lower that down. That's a bit bright, is it not? See if I can darken that up. I don't remember which way was darker. I think it was that way. Let's go 1 or 2 clicks that way and see what that does. There's a big time delay. I have to wait and see what happens on your screen. How about we come back 1 there? I think that's a little bit better. Alright, so at OOD we should have 19.5 on the fuel. I'm sorry, 19.4 on the fuel. Right now we're at 19.5, so we're looking good. We're at OOD right now. And it's climbing up beautifully.
Increase descent. Climb. Climb now.
I see him. He's 5 miles out.
Increase climb.
2.5 miles out.
Climb. Climb.
Mile out. To our right. There he is. I got him low going by.
Clear of conflict.
Now he didn't break the 1 mile mark, so hopefully Laminar Research is closing in on networking, getting this straightened out. I did a flight the other day at night in X-Plane, checking the 3D rain effect and the wipers. And I tell you, if you suffer from epilepsy or have some type of seizures, You do not want to fly multiple computers in X-Plane 12 during a thunderstorm. And I think that can actually trigger it until they get that worked out. I mean, I've had lightning strikes here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then there, then there, then there, then here. It was crazy. I really hope they get that worked out. Yeah, what I did a long time ago, I knew I wanted some type of flight deck a long time ago. I didn't know which one I wanted. Well, back then I was really more inclined to the 767 and the 757 because they're pretty much interchangeable. But the 737 grew on me as I was saving my dollars. When I first started working up in New York, I told my wife, well, she was my girlfriend, fiance back then, that I wanted one of these. It was going to be expensive, and that X amount of dollars out of my paycheck was going towards that fund. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And she didn't have a problem with that. So over the years, that money just accumulated in the bank, didn't touch it, let it grow. Every time I felt like spending that money on something, well, now I think about it, it'd be something stupid, but back then it didn't seem like it was too stupid. I'd come in and I'd watch YouTube videos of individuals that already had a flight deck, which is something I wanted. Back then, most of the people had the 737. So that started to get under my skin, and lo and behold, before you knew it, I wanted one. And whenever I felt like spending that cash, I'd come in and I'd watch a YouTube video or two, and it would get me refocused. It's one of the reasons why I actually put up my videos. You know, there might be someone out there that's doing the same thing. They're saving their dollars right now, and it may be wanting to burn a hole in their pocket. And hopefully watching a couple of these will get them back on track, so they don't break open that cookie jar and keep their cash for something that they really want in the end. This is really important to me because I don't go out. I really don't go anywhere. I'm on oxygen from 9/11, from way back when, over 20 years ago now. Wow, it seems like yesterday. So I can't take watching TV all day long. This occupies my mind most of the day, even doing one flight, because it's all the pre-flight stuff that I do, checking the weather, looking at the airports, going online, checking FlightAware, looking at the actual flights, grabbing all their flight data, and then trying to mimic it here in the flight deck. So it takes a lot to put one of these together. And then running the OBS and all these other screens, you know, adds just that much more to the entire mix. But before I know it, the day is pretty much gone, and I had a great time. And it beats watching TV. I mean, years ago we only had like 12 channels. Now there's a gazillion of them, but there's still nothing on. What are we looking at here? And a deuce and 26. Oh no, we're still at a deuce. 199. And we're looking pretty good. So we got top of climb and under 50 miles now. We got 49 miles top of climb and 820 to go. That we zoom out a little bit more. All in all, beautiful ride from cold and dark up to 32,000 feet now, and that's 21 minutes from the gate. And I really didn't find any issues with X-Plane, with CHSI, with FDS to XP, Zibo Mod. Everything's been working great. I did have to work on my CDUs because the CDU was the first officer CDU for the longest time, and that was the captain's CDU. I have a third one sitting in a box just in case one goes out. But the numbers were beginning to get a little worn here, so I decided why not flip them. So, and in flipping them, they have serial numbers, and it became a real bit of a pain, because then when I hit these buttons, that screen would go, then I had to work out those screens. So then I had the screens worked out with the buttons, they matched. But then when I wanted to do anything with the EFIS panel and check the flight plan, then if I press the step button, it would work on this one, and then I had to reverse the nav displays. It was crazy. So then I ended up inside the scripts and had to change some numbers around from 1 to 2, 0 to 1, and pretty much got it back to where she should be. It's working great, and I've got the CDU working for you guys when I program a flight, so that's really cool. And I've got my test done today from cold and dark, and I know that we're good. So later today we check and make sure I didn't screw anything up with the MS 2020 and device interface manager. So we'll do that cold and dark probably tomorrow. Maybe I'll do the return run. Oh, actually, you know what? I've got doctors tomorrow and I've got doctors Tuesday, so that might not be possible. Maybe late in the day I might be able to get one in tomorrow. And then Tuesday, doctor, that should be quick. That's just blood work. And my doctor's almost right across the street, so that's even better. So Tuesday, I might do the run. I might miss tomorrow. I don't know. If I get one in, it'll be a short one. "30 miles to top of climb, and we've got 800 to go." You know what? I have to get a drink. My mouth is really dry from talking. The medication that I use and the steroids and all that, really. It's like I've been in the desert all day. I'm going to grab a drink, and I will be right back. We're looking pretty good. We're at cruise. We've got under 800 miles to go. 25 miles to top of climb. All right, I'll be right back.
Thousand to go.
Needed that. Okay, tripod. 17.9 on the fuel. We're at 18. Not that bad. We got 100 knot crosswind smacking us right now. Gonna be turning into a headwind too. Not good. And 226. Still have not been able to figure out that flashing that's going on with the lights. I've been looking. Haven't found anything yet. Hey Matthew, how's it going? So we're at cruise now. We've got 645 miles to go to top of descent, and we've got another 765 miles to go. So we got a ways to go, and we should have 8 on the fuel when we get in. Pretty good. And how about we kick this up a bit, shall we? Let's kick the cruise up a bit. Maybe we can end a little early. Oh yeah, 101 knot headwind. I like that little bit of rocking going on, but it's not steady, so not bad. View is actually rather nice too. That should be in range now. Crippler, what do we have coming up here? 17.2 on the fuel. We're at 17.7. It's nice. The wife is out. No one here to bother me. It's a beautiful thing. Be nice if we have this wind tomorrow or Tuesday on the way back. 103 knot tailwind would be lovely. I don't see him. We got a couple of aircraft on the screen. Don't see him though. Do not have eyes on him.
Okay, direction Mars is like Mike Alpha, Romeo, Charlie, Yankee, then Lucy is like Lima, Uniform, Charlie, and Sierra for the Voodoo. That's good, you're Voodoo, right? Okay, for the Voodoo.
That should be in range now. Let's see if we can see him coming in. He's going to be a little bit above us. Be about 2 miles to our left, I would think, when he's passing. Don't see him. No, this is real ATC traffic that's going on in the background. Right now we're listening to center frequency. That's 5 miles. Oh, I got him. I don't know if you can see him. I don't know if the camera's going to pick him up. Here he comes right now. Looked like that could have been a JetBlue aircraft.
265, this is to flight level 300. We'll do 65 for the Roger.
Would be nice if the aircraft showed up on the Navigraph charts. And we're not even breaking a ground speed of 400 with this headwind. And it looks like the weather's building up a little bit there, but we take weather. I don't know if the weather radar's working at 12, is it? Maybe it is. Don't think the weather radar's working in MS 2020 though. Looks a little weird though. A little boxy. As long as there's nothing in front of us. Oh, we're going to run into a little bit of it. Oh yeah. Should be able to see that weather there. Hopefully it's drifting. Cripple! Fuel's pretty much right on the money. And what are we out now?
Number 868 Charlie Golf, Center buyout. Victor, India, Yankee, Alpha, Papa,
Actually, give me that.
and then direct to Charlie, Romeo, Echo, rest of it unchanged.
Fuel! I think my wife just got back. Let me go see if she needs a hand with something. I'll be right back.
Number 905 Hotel Echo, contact center 126.32. 3295 Hotel Echo. 205-2202, turn 15 degrees to the right, short vector for traffic. 15 degrees to the right, 205-2202, Alpha, Alpha, Yankee, leave it at 10 maintain, almost 250, expedite your descent down. Okay, so that's 250, thank you. 15 Charlie 242 for 300 request. Denver over 15 Charlie 9 Roger, what's your request? Pretty good direct left side. I gotta leave you on your route for military airspace, and I'm actually gonna have to give you a few waypoints. I'll be back with you in a minute. Denver 15 Charlie, after Carter, select Marcy, M-A-R-C-Y, the direct Redfin. Carter, Marcy, Redfin. Alright, after Carter, direct Marcy, Mike, Alpha, Romeo, Charlie, Yankee, and then direct Redfin, 15 Charlie. And M-A-R-C-I. I had M-A-R-C-I, 15 Charlie. Exit Alpha, Alpha, Yankee, Lima, descend to maintain, almost 240. Alpha, flight limit 240, Yankee. So flight 2202, put our standby. Next standby is for flight 2202. Scope at 265, just to maintain, almost 250. Then I'm going to say flight level 250, Copa 265. Take our 3716, contact center 126.52. 65, so you can break here at 37. Number 6, first number E68 Charlie Golf, climb and maintain, flight level 410. Climb and maintain, flight level 410, Charlie Golf. JetBlue 2064, contact center on 126.32. 632, JetBlue 2064, okay. Yes. Navy Center, hello, runway 3946, 22.6, 423. Envoy 3946 to the Roger, climb maintain, flight level 260. Maintain flight level 260, onward 3946. Came at 200, descend to maintain flight level 270. 70, TMI 200. Still flight 2202, put our stand bar, contact center 133.5. Put stand bar 335, still flight 2202. Couple 478, just to maintain almost 330. The same number, thanks for label 330, couple 478. Number 15 Charlie. Major altitude maintain level 340. Alright, 340, 15 Charlie. Number 15 Charlie, contact center on 128.22. Hey, Charlie 2, 15 Charlie, good day. Boy 3946, we have a few pieces of traffic. First, 11 o'clock, 10 miles northbound, and Embraer is going to be climbing the downstream below in the airplane. And then 10 o'clock,
Okay.
10 miles northbound to 10 o'clock.
So, Sunday, doesn't look like anybody's coming for Sunday dinner. I may be able to get another flight in today.
Bring up 4696, man.
Yeah, and I have to use PMDG inside MS 2020 for the hardware-software interface in order for the hardware to work with Device Interface Manager, so 25 actually. And that's 40 minutes from the gate. What do we have? 564 miles to top of descent, 684 to go. So we got a little ways to go.
1239, contact center 12137, ticket.
2137, okay, please. 1239, good.
Yeah, it's starting to thicken up down there a bit. Clouds almost look like they're starting to anvil out. Looks pretty cool.
Stand up 650, 250, Mach 79.
So 650, center roger, negative. Got a 650, cross Hawks, flight level 180, 300 knots.
180 and 300 knots, so 650, we'll try it. And Jeffrey 14.
104 knot headwind.
26.7 for 370. Jeffrey 1435, next time, morning.
Oh yeah.
Number
for 5183, you're now clear direct to Kinston, ISO.
So I may be able to get MS 2020 flight in later on today. No one's coming for dinner. Not bad. That means I can get done with this flight, go get something to eat, and then crank up MS 2020, and maybe do the return flight today. That would be lovely. Might be a little wishful thinking on my part, but not much. That might be doable. I would think, was it Elegant Air? I would think they would have the return flight going into Trenton. I'll have to go look that up on FlightAware. And get the return in. Because to run MS 2020, really all I have to do is just take my remote control, change them to HDMI 1 instead of HDMI 2, turn off those two computers because I won't need them, turn off X-Plane, start MS 2020, start Device Interface Manager, and we're good to go. Never thought I'd see the day where a deck like this would be able to use multiple platforms. But thanks to some amazing individuals, very generous individuals I might add, it is possible. It's amazing. I started out with stick figures and 4 colors. Microsoft Flight Simulator for the Tandy 1000 computer. Back in 1985. 85 or 83, somewhere in there. That should be in range. Flight Sim's come a long way. From a keyboard and a mouse to a joystick. And then I went to a stand-up, well, not a stand-up yoke. It was actually a yoke that connected to a desktop with a big bolt. I had just the throttle quad with no stand. Then I built a stand for it. Then from there, I went on to this. Finally saved enough money. And we had to move from Brooklyn to Boca Raton, Florida, because I needed the garage. This takes up my 2-car garage. The monitors span from end to end, I think like 16 feet, 17 feet almost. And the flight deck is what, 7 feet by 8 feet? It takes up quite a bit of space. If we ever move to Prescott, Arizona, and I have to take this apart and rebuild it, the house in Arizona definitely has to have a flight sim room. This way it's not taking up the garage. That's going to have to be a must. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. If I get my wife to move again, it'll probably be back near where her mom is. But we'll see where my breathing takes me in the future. May not have a choice. A little bit of rocking, but it's not that bad. Would be nice if it was broken up a little bit, you know, instead of like this, and then maybe get a little bit of that in there, and then come back. Would be nice. Break up that steady roll. And we're up to about 110 mile an hour wind, man. Actually, I think you have that data on your screen. You should see that. You should have all that info. I forgot. MS 2020, you don't get that info, but you get it here with X-Plane. And what do we have? Guild coming up. We should have 15.9 on the fuel. We're at 16.2 right now. And we still have just over 500 miles to top of descent. 522. So you figure about an hour and 10 minutes to top of descent. So we're looking at 70 minutes.
So 650, when arrival, thank you.
That should be in view.
180-300
And this has been a great ride. From cold and dark all the way through. I think the only mishap, I don't know, I must have hit the wrong button when I was programming the flight management computer. Instead of putting it in with a file, I put them all in one by one. I may have hit the wrong button because I wiped out the entire flight. Had to program it again.
Currently 220, request 260. Shark 21 finding 260. Any 260, Shark 2.
And so far my voice is holding up pretty good.
And Jet 1475, climbing through 26.7 for 370.
Super 1475, next time, good morning.
Right.
Over 5183, you're now clear direct to Kinston, ISO.
Yeah, we got a bit of weather out there. Looks like we're just going to skirt it. So looks like it's shifting to our right.
Roger, cross the Hogs intersection now. Hogs is flight level 180-300 knots.
Hogs at 180-300 knots. American.
Not bad. We're just going to skirt it.
Copa 812, contact center 121.37, take care. Bye-bye.
251 Alpha 5, British service terminated, contact radio 1.
Norway. Wow.
Thanks for the help today.
Ford Dust Editor Gaming. Norway. Wow, that's a bit ways off. You know what? I was doing a couple of runs out Norway. Man, the views out there are amazing with those mountains. The snow covering them. Oh, man. What an amazing view, man. I spent a lot of time in Norway not that long ago. I was bebopping around.
79 cruise, 1475.
Yeah, I'm in Boca Raton, Florida.
014, contact center 121.37, take care.
228. And the fuel's right on the money, 15.9.
Air 5041, Roger, climb maintain flight level 320.
Another great ride from Zibo Mod.
Roger, normal speed, across bridge at flight level 210.
That's 50 minutes from the gate, 45 from the runway. And we've got 500 miles to top of descent. 620 to go. Yeah, I'm in Florida, yeah. What's nice is in Boca Raton, where we decided on, I'm a half hour from Fort Lauderdale, and I'm a half hour from West Palm Beach, either north or south, either way. So it's great. So if I want to do any flying or any sightseeing, you know, plane watching, I'm a half hour from either airport, which is pretty cool. Basically right in the middle.
Three contact center 121.37, take care.
137, I would agree with you.
Yeah, I think the only thing that you don't get on your nav display is the weather radar. I can only have it on one nav display. So that you don't get to see, unfortunately.
Hello, Center JetBlue 0211-350.
The picture 2 in Roger, low clock Hogs now, flight level 180-300 knots.
Yeah, it gets a bit warm in the summertime though, but yeah, if the hurricanes aren't rolling in, yeah, it's not bad down here. The thunderstorms, I think, are sometimes just as bad. When we first moved down here, I came down here in, what was it, July? To get everything all painted. So I came down for like 2 weeks. We didn't move down until October. And man, the first thunderstorm that I experienced down here, I was thinking to myself, we made a bad decision. I couldn't see the hand in front of my face when I got caught out there. That was wicked. And if you look down the block in one direction, the sun is shining. You look behind you, man, it's as dark as night. And there's a storm creeping up on you. You wouldn't even know it. But we've been lucky. We've been here, 12 years now? And the storms haven't been bad at all. Put the storm shutters up a couple of times, but really didn't need them, thank God.
Denver 5241, correct wrap.
Alright, clear direction wrap.
120 knot headwind. Man, we're really getting whacked. Not being very helpful. Look at our ground speed is 376. Man, at Mach 0.804. Whew, man, we're struggling. Might be getting in late, let alone early.
Brickyard 5747 with you, flight level 230.
Brickyard 5747, roger, maintain flight level 340.
I'm at 340, Brickyard 5747.
Yeah, we've been lucky. We've dodged a few of them. One of them broke off to the right. One of them broke off to the left. Yeah, we've been very lucky. So far, so good. Gonna keep my flight deck safe.
Clear 5670, center, hello. Roger that, thank you. And number 108 Kilo Charlie, contact center 121.35. 2135, 8 Kilo Charlie. Bye-bye, guys. Good day.
I think we've got someone about 35 miles out heading the same way we are. 2,500 feet below us. Don't think we'll be able to see him though.
Go ahead, sir. Yeah, when we get down into your sector, can you see if direct Fisher would be available? Which fix are you looking for? Fisher. Oh, stand by. In level 340. 745. 10 Kilo Charlie, clear direct Fisher. Thank you, direct Fisher. 0 safely. Fisher 5398, clear to Quinn.
Yeah, I think we're going to do the return flight in 2020 today. No one's coming over, so I don't think the wife will mind. She's got the Hallmark channel. That thing is on like 24/7. It's amazing. I have my own TV in there, and I'll put the TV on. I'll be watching some Western, or I'll go to an app, turn the TV off. The next day I come in, the thing automatically goes to the Hallmark channel. It's amazing. Every day it's Christmas on that channel. My wife says, no, they have Christmas in July. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I've seen it in February. I've seen it in March, in January, after Christmas specials, all kinds of stuff, man. They just don't want to let go. A couple of my neighbors are like that. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. And they're like, you put up your Christmas stuff yet? I'm like, no. Everybody's got to wait their turn.
Go back, American 2320, good day.
Good day.
Spirit 240, Spirit 543, contact Savannah Center.
Time's flying by. It seems like we just took all that stuff down. Getting ready to put it up already. Yeah, the weekend after Thanksgiving is when we start. That's right around the corner. Matter of fact, I think, Monday? Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow begins the phone calls to see who's coming, and how many plates, and how big of a turkey. Do we need more than one?
contact call, center 124.12.
12, would be nice if everybody got together a little bit more often than we do. 126 knots, man. Man, we're getting hit.
372, center welcome, direct to Munster. Direct to Munster.
It's pushing us away. Doesn't want us to get there. That should be in range.
5398, contact center 121.
And what do we have coming up? D's. D's, we should have 14.7 on the fuel. We're at 15.2 right now. Looking pretty good. And we should have 8.1 when we get into clear water. Thought it was 8 before. Don't know how we're gaining fuel with that headwind. I'm more than likely mistaken though. Probably was 8.1. Might have been 8.2.
2375, 08 KC. Bye-bye, guys. See ya.
It depends on my breathing whether or not we're going to end up moving. If we did go, I would probably end up in Arizona. I have a couple of friends that are out there, and believe it or not, they have full flight decks just like I do. So if we ended up out at Prescott, Arizona, I'd have a first officer, and he'd have a first officer whether we were flying at my house or his house. So it'd be like a little small community. It would be nice for world flight with the three of us together like that. That would be pretty great. But I would dread actually having to take this apart. It's in the garage, so I'd really just have to take the top off. And then if it's not that heavy, get it out into a truck. But I'm getting older, getting sickly. I definitely won't be doing it if we do move. We're going to have to get somebody to come do it. If I did it by the time I got done, my next move would be a dirt nap. That should be in range now.
American 372 to 787 level 320. Zero American 372.
Yeah, from what my friend says, Prescott, Arizona is not that bad. Hey, Paulo, how's it going, man? You caught me. We're basically just about midway into Clearwater, Florida, from Trenton. I'm running X-Plane 12 today. So, well, you can tell if you see all the data behind the seats. That should tell the whole story. I can't give you all that data in 2020. I'm very limited with that program. Would be nice if 2024 offered networking, and if we had the ability like a ZHSI program for glass screens. That would be the grand slam home run of it all, because the performance in 2020 is phenomenal compared to X-Plane. With X-Plane, I run one computer, one monitor, and I'm running top-of-the-line stuff. 7980 X3D processor, 4090 GPU, DDR5 RAM at 6,000, 64 gig of it too, on a Samsung 990 Pro NVMe. So, and I still can't kick up the graphics in 2020 on one monitor. With MS 2020, I run one computer and I run 7 screens. I run these 3 at 4K, another one behind it because MS 2020's main screen flickers. And I found if I run a third experimental screen, it goes away. So I run 3 experimental screens at 4K, a 4K screen behind it, and I run these glass screens on one computer. And I don't get the flickers that I get in 2020 in X-Plane. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. The only thing that doesn't run this entire flight deck when I run MS 2020 are these 2 CDUs. And I probably could hook them up to VGA, USB-C, some type of connector, and run the entire deck on one computer with 2020. the performance is amazing. That's why when I come back and I look at this and how I struggle and get stutters, and I'm not even running nowhere near full, it just kills me. That the performance is just that pitiful. There's no other word for it. I've seen the other side. It's amazing. So hopefully they can get that all straightened out. So D's, what I say on the fuel. Oh, we're at 18.4 right now, and 18.4, and look at this. The fuel at Clearwater just jumped to 8.2.
Level 210.
Big lane, flight level 210, 431.
With 132 knot headwind. Oh, now it just jumped to 8.0. Okay, we were at 8180. All right. Oh, you know what? I can actually even show you that. You should be able to see that. If I give you the CDU page back, all right.
Skyward 3731, contact center 121.
And you can see that info right there.
21.35.
And how we're moving along. And 60 miles to Mr. Pitt.
3731, then should maintain level 190. Level 190. 650, 670, contact center 1.
Oh, thanks for Duster. I appreciate it. I could use all the help I can get, as we all can, I'm sure. Looks like we're gaining on him a bit. About 18 miles out. Down 9 o'clock position just about. Not going to be able to see him. He's above us by 2,500 feet. Don't see him though. Now it looks like that's all we have around us as far as traffic. And it looks like we're leaving some of that weather behind.
FedEx 3021, fine, maintain flight level 380. Flight level 380.
Yeah, we're going to slide right in between all of it beautifully.
United 85 and 660. United 85, center Roger. Sunday log, center 134.3.
If you actually have this professionally built like I did, you're looking at about $100,000. I had this entire flight deck built by Flightdeck Solutions. And then I actually had Steve, their IT, actually come down here. He spent a week with me putting it together, along with a friend of mine, Mr. G, who has his own flight deck, which his flight deck make my flight deck look like a beginner's model. I had an opportunity to spend some time at Mr. G's flight deck, and if the manual says they're 10 pounds of pull on the yoke, he's got 10 pounds of pull on the yoke. If there's 8 pounds on the ailerons, he's got 8 pounds on the ailerons. I mean, his setup is just amazing. He actually has a 737 in the front of an aircraft that was cut off and brought to his house, put in his garage, and he has the whole thing built. Amazing setup. Very nice gentleman. But you know what? If you have skills and you're good with wood and saws and drills and cutting and whatnot, you can do this for far less than what I paid. You know, if you're good with wiring and soldering, things like that, you'll save a ton of money doing it yourself. You know, you're just looking at controller boards, buttons, switches, dials. You buy them by the bag, full do-it-yourself. Me, I saved up over the years. I knew I wanted something like this 20 years ago. 25 years ago when I started my career, and I put money aside every check just for this. So I didn't know it was going to be this back then, but I knew it was going to be a full flight deck, and it turned into this. And this flight deck right now is up running at least 8, maybe even 9 years. So it's a testament to the quality of Flightdeck Solutions hardware, because the only thing that I've changed is a couple of Hall effect sensors in here. That's basically it. I updated the JetMax throttle quad from them, but I didn't have to. I did it because I wanted to. I added backlighting. I swapped out the controller board, and I changed the parts that were in there for Hall effect sensors. So, but that was because I wanted to do it, not because I had to do it. Everything else is up and running just the way it was from day one. It's amazing. Hey Tom, how's it going? You caught me on my way down to Clearwater, on my way down to Florida from Trenton. Oh, thanks for Duster. I appreciate it. Yeah, most individuals that come in here look at the flight deck and go, whoa. Actually had a 737 pilot in here that was like, this is my office. So he said this is basically 1-to-1 scale of his office. I have a few items missing. You know, I don't have the stick shakers on here. There's a couple items. I don't have the radios and the headset in the back and whatnot. So I don't have a HUD. But other than that, everything else in here, that's basically the office. So, which is rather nice. Although I did add some gauges to the flight deck from when I first purchased it from Flightdeck Solutions. I added the flight illusion gauges that I have all throughout the deck. And I still have the standby gauges sitting in the box ready to go in right here. But I have to take this monitor out. This monitor comes all the way across and down. The one that I have is the same one that fits in the bottom, and it fits right in this space, right in here, which will allow me to put the triple gauges in here. And they're already mounted on a plate just like this one that matches the paint scheme. I just have to pop this out, put the new monitor in, pop the triple gauge in, screw it in, run one cable. Done. It's all set up on daisy chain. Nice and easy. And the controller board's already in, controlling everything else. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't save up and had this. I couldn't imagine me watching TV all day long. I'd go nuts. Any flight that I do, even if it's an hour flight, is at least 2 hours of work. Hour before, setting up OBS, doing all that, so it kills a large part of the day, which is rather cool. And we should be at 26. Nice, Tom. That was pretty quick. We were just talking about those speakers the other day, weren't we? You got those pretty quick. Any other hardware get there yet? I know Christmas coming early for you. I remember those days. Yeah, I get too crazy with the talking. My lungs remind me, hey, dummy, pace yourself. Call me? You mean on Discord, or not that I know of? What do we have? Mr. Pitt, 13.8 on the fuel. We're at 13.9, so fuel's looking pretty good. That's looking fine. Temperature back there is good. And the vibrations are acting up today on both sides. With 123 knot wind hitting us, I'm not surprised. I'm actually impressed that's because it's usually 0.7, 0.8, or 0.9, 0.8. That's impressive.
Yeah, tower 2, South 6448.
He needs to know that X-Plane is not doing good. X-Plane's actually doing very well with the flight deck. Actually, from cold and dark, I just updated everything today. Just wanted to take a look. Actually, she's been beautiful the whole ride. So, on my way back, I'm going to run MS 2020. So I've got X-Plane on the way down from Trenton to Clearwater, and then we'll run MS 2020 from Clearwater back to Trenton. So that's pretty cool. I get to run 2 base platforms without that much heartache now, which is rather nice. Oh, absolutely, Tom. 10, 15 grand? Yeah, if you're handy with soldering wires and drilling holes and cutting wood and, you know, doing plastic work and whatnot. Now with 3D printers, yeah, it's even easier. So you could definitely build yourself something real nice if you have some skills. Me with my breathing, it would have taken me forever to do, you know. So it's taken me forever just to get my standby gauges in here because I have to move all this stuff out. I have to be able to crouch in there, and with my breathing it becomes difficult. So yeah, Paulo, yeah, I need multiple computers for X-Plane. Yeah, I'm running 1, 2, 3 computers for X-Plane, and then I'm running another computer that does the OBS work for the videotaping. Yeah, and with MS 2020 I run 2. Really could get away with 1 if I can get my CDUs hooked up into it, but I just don't have the room, or I'd have to buy a USB hub type connector to get them in there, which I probably could do and run it on 1 computer, which would be astounding considering everything that's going on. But I don't have to. I have the hardware here, so it's no big deal. And the second computer is running the OBS software anyway, so these are just running with it. Which also gives me the option to give you the CDU screen. So we got 350 miles at top of descent, 470 to go. Discord group? No, I set up a channel, Swan Sim, but I really am hardly ever on there. With everything that's going on, I don't have a screen for Discord. It would be hard for me to kind of keep track of what's going on. It would be nice. And then you also have the children that are on there that you have to block and ban and mute, you know, because of their silly games. So it became more of a hassle than anything else, which is one of the reasons why. If I'm on there, I'm usually on there for device interface manager, either talking to Niles or one of the other guys or gals that are on there, either working out issues or just talking about the program. If not, then I'm on AAV, American Airlines Virtual. A friend of mine, Pat738, for those of you that follow his flight deck. His is just like mine. Actually, he's a little bit better than mine because he's running a motorized throttle quad. And he updated his controller boards from USB to Ethernet. So yeah, Zibo Solutions. Yeah, that was one car. I tell you, if I was just getting started nowadays, only because, you know, Flightdeck Solutions is pretty much dealing with professionals now, and if you want one of these, you're going to have to pony up 250 grand. That plug and play from, was it Zibo, I think, is just amazing. You can't get any better than that. And the great thing is, if you have a problem with a module, you pop the module out, send it back to them, let them fix it, replace it, and you pop a new one back in. That's great. Because no matter what flight deck you have, eventually you're going to have to do maintenance. There's no way around it. You're gonna have to do it. Whether it's, switches, dials, pots, or Hall effect sensors, or a monitor that needs to be replaced, or even computer work, that has to be done, or upgrades. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done going forward. It's not just you buy it, use it, and you're good to go forever. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Is going to be maintenance, updates. Can you get parts? Can you get replacement stuff? Things like that is also something that should be considered when doing something like this. But the field has gotten so much better over the years, which is a good thing. Competition is great. I think MS 2020 coming back actually forced X-Plane to kick it up a notch. A little bit quicker maybe than they wanted to. So, it's a good thing.
Frontier 100, cross Zibo, 15,000, December 3018. Cross Zibo, 15,000.
Yeah, Tom, I'm going to get my throttle one day. I mean, it got pushed back now. This was a damper with my pet, Shadow. He used to spend all his time right here in the right seat. A couple of people mentioned it because they saw him. He's a great cat. He blends in with the seats, but a couple of people saw him a few times and mentioned him. He's the only cat that we have in the house. I have 6 in the house. He's the only one that's allowed in the garage with the flight deck because he knows he's not allowed underneath where the wires are. The other cats just don't care. They come in here, they run all over the place. Him, he knows. I yelled at him a couple of times. He got out. He figured it out. Now he comes in. He walks around the deck, and he'll come and jump and sit in the first officer seat. He basically got sick around the same time I got sick. Only he got sick a lot worse than I did. He ended up with congestive heart failure, diabetes, and something else going on, pancreatitis. And, well, he actually had me dip into my motorized throttle quad fund. His medical bills right now are $12,000. And he's still not out of the woods yet. Matter of fact, he goes to the doctor tomorrow after I go to the doctor tomorrow to get checked. So... but the cat's famous now in a couple of places. I actually had a doctor come out with me and my wife with the cat sitting in there. He opens up the door. He's like, "So where is this $12,000 cat? I want to meet him." I guess they're surprised that we would spend that kind of money on a cat, but it's my buddy, man. My co-pilot. I'll do whatever I can to help him, If we were big-time lottery winners, I'd spend $100 grand on him. I'd have no problem with that. That's just paper. So I'm hoping one day soon he'll be back in the right seat. Right now, he's got to get his insulin shots, and he's got to get his Lasix, and a whole bunch of stuff going on. We're trying to keep him as stress-free as I can right now. So that basically pushed my motorized throttle quad back. So that basically wiped out that fund, and it wiped out our vacation fund as well. Oh yeah, I could see me in 2024. I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to the table. I mean, I know they talked a lot about all of these individual, I guess, careers that you can run if you want to be a heli pilot doing rescue jobs or putting out fires or delivering people to oil platforms and things like that. That's pretty great. I mean, that's nice. Career-oriented stuff. But I hope that they don't forget about the guys that are also maybe not career-oriented, but going from point A to point B, and they really kick up the ground graphics a bit as far as the maps. That would really be great. And networking would be a huge plus for 2024. I don't know if that's ever going to happen because they went the experimental route with their monitors, but it would be nice if we had at least a way to get in there and add some things from multiple computers. Because then I could see this MS-2020 running above Ultra, because I run it at Ultra right now. I could probably kick up the graphics full right if I didn't have to run 7 displays. I think, what am I looking forward to right now? I think right now the next big thing that I'm looking forward to is X-Plane 12 when they get to, was it 8.1, when they start working on networking and then start working on getting the all of the little nitpicky things in place, so that this way they can fine-tune this thing so it runs better. It's going to be interesting to see where it's going to be when they're done with that section. Then after that, I'm looking forward to 2024.
Charlie, Victor Kilo 7070, contact center 1.
Oh, they are, Tom? Oh, that's pretty cool. I haven't really checked with a whole bunch of other companies since I basically have everything from FDS. And Flightdeck Solutions, well, other than Flightdeck Solutions, Flight Illusions is basically just picked up where, you know, I had a little bit of a lack of gauges in here when I first put it in. I didn't even know all that extra stuff was available when I ordered the deck. And it might not have been back then, I'm not sure. Only problem I have right now is my Flight Illusion gauges. You can see there's like this little tick, 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 tick of like, it gets brighter, dim, brighter, dim, brighter, dim. Gonna see what's going on with that. So you can see it all the way around. All of them are doing it. And that's new. I want to get my throttle from Flightdeck Solutions. I'd like to keep the entire flight deck from them, Flightdeck Solutions. It is more money than any other motorized throttle quad out there, but I've had this flight deck for 8-9 years now. I know the quality of their stuff. You know, I know that their tech support is second to none. I have a question, you know, I'll shoot them a text, I get an answer right away. So I'm hoping that they're still going to give some of us high-end enthusiasts the opportunity to purchase a motorized throttle quad, because that's really the only thing she's missing. But I would need compatibility. I have to get compatibility with X-Plane and MS-2020 or 2024. This way the motorized, the stepper motors will actually work with the setup. And I like their backlighting. Their IBL lighting is just absolutely stunning. So, and I would imagine their quad is going to be no different than the rest of the deck. So that's the one I would like to get in the future. And I don't remember what the cost was. I think Pat told me a while ago, but I don't know if it was 7 grand, 12 grand, 15 grand, 17. I don't remember. I don't remember what the price was. But it was a pretty penny. It's more than any of the other motorized quads that are out there, that's for sure. No doubt about it. But like I said, I know the quality. So that's really what I would like to have in here. Keep it all from them, with the exception of Flight Illusions. It basically would be with Flightdeck Solutions and Flight Illusions. That's it. That's going to be in here. Keep it nice and simple. Don't want to mix and match all that stuff, you know. All right, for Desta Editor, man. Glad you're stopping by, man. Glad you found the channel. Hope you enjoyed the view for a little bit. And maybe we'll catch you again in the future. I always enjoy the company, my friend. Always enjoy the company. You take care, man. Have a great day or night. Right now, what do we have? It's almost 5 p.m. for me. Boy, those clouds definitely look a bit evil down there. Almost looks like you can walk on them. So what do we have? 389 miles to go, 269 to top of descent. And looks like the winds are starting to die up a bit here. We're down to 96. Thanks. Oh, I always have a great day. When I have an opportunity to come in here, it's always a great day, my friend. Thanks.
Center, good morning. Mooney 4054 Hotel, 10,500.
What do we have? 265 top of descent. Let me go grab another drink, and I will be right back. I think my mouth is just as much as cotton as it looks out there with these clouds. I'll be right back. I just don't eat and drink in the flight deck because my hands get shaky now and then, and my luck, I'll spill something, burn something out, and you know that costs money, man. And I need to save that to get my throttle quad again. All right, I'll be right back.
FedEx 3617, contact center 120.55. 2055, FedEx 3617. Good number 3 Golf Papa, contact center 132.32. 132.32. Kidding. FedEx 499, contact Albuquerque Center 124, print 132.32, 32 for FedEx 499. Getting. Police 606, find and maintain from 390. 390, 606. Good morning, Delta 781, flight over 390, Delta 781, center route. FedEx 428, contact center 132.32. 3232, FedEx 428. Morning. Elysian 606, 133.05.
All right, that's an hour and a half from the gate now, and we've got 248 to top of descent.
2765, I did your request for time.
Oh, I appreciate the offer, Tom. No. I pretty much laid out all the money for everything. I'd like to be able to say that I did this on my own. You know, I appreciate the offer, though, Tom. Really do. Because I don't have much left. If I can get the motorized throttle quad in here, and maybe a HUD, if the company ever puts one out, that's basically going to be it for me. For the deck. But I appreciate the offer.
FedEx 611, stay back, please. FedEx 611, checking in 350, smooth. FedEx 611, now 609, thank you.
Well, hi, RO. Glad you found the channel. Hey, thanks for subscribing. Former pilot, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Yeah, I flew the small stuff, but I never had a ticket for the 737 aircraft, and I haven't flown in the real world in a very long time. Basically, it was the 152, 172, and the 182RG up in Teterboro in New Jersey, and then out in Long Island, out in MacArthur. Is basically where I spent my time. But nothing in the Big Iron.
FedEx 2765. We can take
And the setup itself comes from Flightdeck Solutions. The company made this entire flight deck. I had it all shipped down to me when it was done. And then me and an IT, Steve, put it together with a friend.
Alpha 1387, contact Albuquerque Center 132.8. 32.8.
Oh, no big deal, Tom. Glad to do it. I do it all over again, knowing what's going to happen today. Oh, yeah, it's getting pretty thick out there now. Look at that. Man.
73 Mike Golf, Albuquerque Center, roger. The Albuquerque altimeter 3018, go ahead.
3018, I'd like to do the VOR approach into Socorro with a full procedure turn.
773 Mike Golf, stand by. 773 Mike Golf, you do have all the turn weather notice for Coral Airport?
Affirmative. We have the minute weather.
And J. Ross, 11.9. We're at 11.9, right on the money. Right on the money.
2437, 18 Mach 0.79 or indicated for space.
That is looking good. And we're going 226 is fine.
Albuquerque Center, 0773, Mike Golf, 11,000 with request.
773 Mike Golf, Albuquerque Center, roger. The Albuquerque altimeter 3018, go ahead.
3018, I'd like to do the VOR approach.
Oh, thanks, RO. I pray. A friend of mine also has a flight deck just like this. Pat 738. PAT 738. He's got a flight deck just like mine. You probably find him on YouTube if you did a search for that. It's just like mine. And he's got a motorized throttle quad, so he's got a little higher end than I have here. So if you enjoy these flights, he's got a nice setup. And he flies X-plane. And he also flies on VATSIM. So that's another plus for Patty Boy there. That's in range now.
And November 3 Mike Golf and cross the core ladder above 10,000, clear VOR DME Alpha, approach the core airport next to the protest published.
All right, cross out of those 10,000 feet over the VOR. We'll clear the VOR approach, and we'll talk to you this approach. 3 Mike Golf.
And November 3 Mike Golf,
I just hope when I review the video footage later that all these screens that I have back here are working for you.
like I said, just contact me on the way out.
All right, we'll contact you on the way out. 3 Mike Golf.
Oh, absolutely, Tom. No doubt about it. When that motorized throttle quad gets here, oh yeah, I'll put together a video, taking the pedestal out, taking this one out, getting the other one in, putting the pedestal back. Oh yeah, I'll have a video up of doing that. No doubt about it.
132.8.
132.8, American 27.6.
That should be in range. 11.5 at Comey on the fuel. We're at 11.7, so we're looking good. And we're looking at 7.9 on the fuel when we get into Clearwater. So, yeah, we lost a little bit with that headwind. Yeah, it would be nice to do the return flight tonight in 2020. It's 5 o'clock now. You figure this will be done by 6. Even if I'm done by 7, yeah, I can get that in. Oh, yeah. I think we'll be back tonight with MS 2020.
That's 305 Swan, man.
451 contact center 132.8.
And how about we take a look at some of these charts on the back end?
Morning center, Mooney 252 Romeo Hotel, yes, CFR at 140.
D to 1, I said, right? Yes.
Hotel, altimeter is 3020.
020, I have a question for you. Got restricted 2515 up
Yes, bar.
Precinct 1.
And there was nothing here. Yes. Yes.
Southwest 1363, contact owner on 127.67.
2767, good day, Southwest 1360.
Only Mavi. Oh. Dates. Gaspar. And then.
I'm gonna need to leave that 5390 for a little while and it's going to go to 43 wrong.
We'll hang it up 390 for now. Center said that's 650. Chance correct, name on?
That's 650, figure it's Rosewood, we'll go to Rosewood.
Just 650 direct Rosewood.
Southwest 1005, contact center on 128.45.
200.
2845.
You know, the text looks a lot sharper now. I noticed. I wonder if Picatanga did an update to ZHSI.
There's 3 mic off, contact approach on 123.9er.
123.9, thanks for the help. Your mic off.
Expands to across 25.
Oh, from when I first started flight simming, when I first had the deck, yeah, it's still come a long way. From using Sim Avionics and P3D back then. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's come a long way since then. No doubt about it. And we're set here. And what do we have here? Okay. And we get picked up at that to the airport, Ronky, and hold if we miss, and we're holding at 26. And that was a deuce, was it not? 202. Yeah, and let's make that one a deuce, shall we?
Number 56, Bravo Uniform, we're going to maintain level 340. 7345.
That all looks pretty good. And I could even put that in as well.
Contact center 127.67. 808, approach 134.0, have a good day.
34-0, you two, Ridgeway.
Not that we have to. Don't need that. Don't need that. And let me just check this real quick.
360 light stop, thanks for the report. Last 1367.
Southwest 6881, cross fuzzy at 18.1000, 50 knots, 0300.
And that looks good.
250, South 6881. Delta 1055, new normal speed.
I think your screens are good.
Your normal speed will cross fuzzy at 16,000.
Oh, that's good to know. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I was a bit worried. I did all this work last night, putting all these screens together. And this really is the first run of trying to get all this, you know, with the load data sheet, the electronic flight bag, and the charts and the view. And yeah, this is really is the first run in X-Plane with this all set up like this.
Delta 1055, contact approach 125.9.
229. Still fighting a headwind of 90 knots.
November 818, Mike, contact. Quick cross, total boss, 1 mile
south off the direction citation 680, flight level 410 southbound. Additional citation 680, flight level 400 northwest bound.
Hey, my question. 470 Bravo.
Instagram, no, that I don't have. I'm lucky I have Discord. I look at that screen and I'm like, whoa, there's just way too much info on that page.
Southwest 4912, contact center 133.55. 33.55.
All right, well, we're under 200 miles at top of descent now. We got 159 to go. And we're under 300 to Clearwater, 283. And that's 143 out of the gate, 138 since we entered the runway.
Track 70, contact approach 125.02, good afternoon.
Did I lose my screen here? Oh, I just lost it here, maybe.
Southwest 2011, I've had no complaints in the climb.
Looks like it's frozen.
Southwest 3406, climb maintain, flight level 400. Climb maintain, flight 400. Southwest 2011, climb maintain, flight level 320. Climb maintain, flight level 320, Southwest 2011.
It looks like my screen here is frozen. Let me shut that down completely.
Falcon 122 Golf Center, roger.
And open that back up again. Looks like my YouTube here on the bottom froze up.
Southwest 2011, climb maintain, flight level 320.
I believe it's still running. It's hard to tell from here. I really can't tell.
November 9122 Golf, use caution. I'm going to be talking to a November 912 Golf Lima on another frequency.
Falcon 1922 Golf.
I think it's still working. Not just not working over here. I don't know why I lost it here. How about we reboot? Let's reboot. I lost my YouTube, so if you type in anything, I cannot see it right now. It froze up on me for some reason. I think it's just on my end. Try rebooting here. That should be in range. And what do we have at puppy? 10.5. We're at 10.8 right now. Looking pretty good. Although the weather's been getting pretty thick. Alright, let's boot you back up.
Rodeo 733, contact center 132.62.
3262, good day, Rodeo 733.
Growing 840, stay indicator. 340, we're at 840. There's 840 time, speed 280 knots.
Okay.
All right, low not expecting speed 280 for 840.
YouTube.
1367, clear, direct biker.
Directory biker, Galactic 7, my clip, plan on the 400 on the west.
1367, Roger, climb maintain, follow 400.
Okay, final 400, that's Galactic 7.
Good afternoon, Allegiant 70C is 1000, Mach Aviation 1 at flight level 19 sail.
70% climb maintain, follow 380.
Climb maintain level 6.
And I think I'm back here.
Southwest 37.
I think we're back. Alright.
Normal speed, Everything 840 is doing normal speed. Got 3454, contact approach 125.9.
35.9 is going 3454.
Yeah, this flight runs, what, 2 hours and 26 minutes? We'll see how close we come.
13.5 for 190 Southwest 1534. 1534, fly maintain call 340, 340 Southwest 1534.
17. Fuel is looking good.
3652, flight level 380. Southern Air 3652 on the rider. Southwest 3406, contact center on 132.05. Good day. 132.05, take care. That is important.
Man, I hope we have something to see on the way down. It's pretty thick down there.
American 1359, contact center 132.62.
Not getting anything on the weather radar, though.
American 1359, good morning. 3262.
Yeah, you can bring that back up.
Center citation 302 Whiskey Charlie 420 450.
4302, Charlie,
And do we get on that shot?
10 VFR calling.
That was a citation 3.
Bam.
Whiskey Charlie with a request.
And we're 44 miles out of this chart, but I don't think that we're going to show up until we get to Olean. We're just past Edison, so probably about 100 miles before we're on this chart, I'd say. Closing the gap. 115 miles top of descent. 239 to go. We're getting there. Actually, it's going to be pretty good timing, I think. It's a little after 5 now. 10 after 5. 8 after 5. Be in time for dinner. Maybe come back, get another one in. They give me a pretty good idea on how easy it's going to be to switch from X-Plane to MS 2020 now. That should be in range. Let's see if you're in range yet. So if that's in range, get you into standby.
502, Carolina setting 060, and it's a blow plus. 060, it's a blow plus, 684, maintain 180 knots, he's going to maintain 3,000.
I think all these charts are working out fairly well. I just hope you can read that stuff. The primary flight display, nav display, and the upper mode control panel and the MCP there. I hope that's not too small. Looks pretty small to me, but hopefully you'll be able to read that data. And then on the way down, we'll bring up the front view. Well, if there's something to see. Right now, it doesn't look like it. All right, 20 miles to Mammoth. 9.9 on the fuel. We're at 10.2 right now. Now, right now we're showing 8.2 on the fuel at Clearwater. Okay. That should be in range. And we're under 100 miles at top of descent. 93. Okay, it's not that hard to read in full screen. Oh, that's good to know, RO. Yeah, all right, that's good. Yeah, I was worried it was going to be a little bit too small, a little too hard to read. Because all I wanted to do really is just kill the dead space behind the seats. Give you some information instead of just staring at the back of these seats, which is nothing. Hey, Desert, how you doing? 6-way DOF? Oh, man, if I had the room, if I could raise the roof, I would absolutely love to have a 6-way DOF in here. No doubt about it, but I just don't have the room. The roof is, I'd say maybe less than 3 feet from the top of these monitors. So, and then I have an attic, and then there's the roof, so that would be impossible. Although if we did end up moving to Arizona, I'd have to find a place that have an extended roof. That would then be doable. A 6-way DOF would really be nice. $85, $86 mile an hour on the way, and it's dying down a bit, but not much. And it looks like it's beginning to break up. So we may have a view on the way in. We may get lucky. Oh, thanks for dropping by, Tom. I appreciate it, man. I always enjoy the company. It makes hanging out at cruise that much more enjoyable, you know. And it passes the time as you're going on. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Tom. And 9.9 on the fuel. We're right on the money. So we're on the approach chart now, or the arrival chart. But it's not to scale, so not going to see us. We're basically in that little box on the upper left-hand side. And we're less than 200 miles to go. Not bad. Yeah, Tom, you're 5 hours in front of us, it looks like, in the UK. And that should be 193. You're slipping there, Jenny. And did you go away? Let's see if that's in play. Okay. That should work. And you should be coming into view now. I'll tell you, this has been one enjoyable ride. I haven't found anything to complain about. From cold and dark, and I'm going to shut this down to securing on the back end just to confirm everything is good. But I haven't found any issue at all with FDS to XP. Haven't found any issue with ZHSI. I haven't found any issues with the with X-Plane or with the Zibo Mod. This whole ride has been beautiful. And we're 60 miles atop of descent. Yeah, it looks like it might open up. I don't know if it's going to build up back there a little bit, but definitely looks like there's a break in here. So even though we're on this chart, so I can show you here. Let's bring up the CDU again. And you can see we're inbound Corey. And if you take a look at the chart on the right hand side, you can see that we're in that little box that's in the upper left hand side there. That's not to scale, so it's not showing us. How many? I have no idea. I don't even know what the weight of this thing is. Because this is an all aluminum platform that this is built on. This is like a foot and a half off the ground that I sit on. So it's pretty tall. And I would imagine it's got a lot of weight to it. So then it would be whether or not this platform actually would have to sit on a plate. And then the plate goes on the six-way. I don't know. Corey, 9595, looking good. And 184. 44 miles at top of descent, 168 to go. Looking pretty good. Okay, so we can get rid of that now. We have that back. And that's 2 hours from the gate, hour 55 minutes from the runway. And according to the online information from FlightAware, ETE should be 226. So, and we're looking at 26 minutes from Capo. So, and we are, what, 25 miles out of that. So we're pretty close to what they expect in the real world. Well, the one good thing, the power really wouldn't be an issue for me in here, but I don't have the height because I had an electrician come in and I had to put in a new breaker panel with extra slots, and I had lines run up to the side front of the garage, and I have a couple of boxes set up on different lines to run all the stuff. The electrician said it was overkill. I said, I don't care, I want it anyway. So. And I haven't had any problems with anything popping. The only time I lose power is when FP&L decides to play with the switches over there. And which is funny because when it's raining out and it's nasty, the power's fine. The sun will be shining, it'll be beautiful, all of a sudden, poof, everything's out. And it only goes out for like a second or two, and then it comes right back. It's almost like there's a guy going, hey, what's that switch do? Hey, turn that back on. You know? It's funny. So just past Edison, we should be getting on this chart. So just about top of descent, we should be popping on that arrival. I'm not sure. I haven't kept track of the frame rates, but I'm running 7 displays in 2020, and it runs smooth. You know, I'll get a flicker here and there every now and then, but it runs smooth, even running 7 displays. And those 7 displays, 4 out of the 7 are running at 4K, and the other ones down here are running at 1080p. So I wish X-Plane run as smooth as 2020 does. You would think that it would, being that there's one computer, one screen, you know, for each monitor, but that's just not the case. Well, you got 18 miles top of descent. Let's get them back in their seats. And I don't believe we had any restrictions on the way down. So how about we head right on down.
Alaska 253, descend via the Ola 1 arrival, it's at maintain flight level 240.
Okay, descend via the Ola 1 arrival, it's at 240, Alaska.
Yeah, MS 2020, I get to turn off 2 computers that I don't need, and I get to run all that on one setup, so that's rather nice. All right, 9-1 on the fuel, 9-1 on, perfect. And we're still looking at 8-2. So what do we have here? That's in, you're done, you're done, you're in, you're in. That is done. Let's get you set up. And local pressure is in. So we're pretty much set up once we hit 18 on the way down. And about another 10 miles we should be on that chart.
12565, coming 5720, got it. Center down 2615, 18 to 230.
Yeah, the clouds don't look as thick as they were for most of the way down here, so maybe we'll get a view.
270, down to 2615. 2615, affirmative, 10 degrees right. Itinerary, guys, line 15.
And that's 2 hours from the runway right now. And top of descent, 1.7 miles. Not bad. And we're on our way down. And that's 2 hours from the runway. 2:05 from the gate. And we're 19 minutes out, 20 minutes out. So it's going to be real close to what they had for 226. 7 with 1 desktop, yep. I'm running an AMD 7950 X3D in the center with an Asus 4090 Tough video board. I've got DDR5 RAM in there, 64 gig of it at 6,000. An NVMe, which is from Samsung, which is a 990 Pro. So I don't think you can get much better than that nowadays. And she is really pumping out a lot of stuff. We'll see on the way back, because I'm going to run 2020 on the way back in the Trent. Nice, we're slowing down beautifully. And we've got 109 miles to go. And I'm surprised we're not on that chart yet. You know, I would think within the next 20 miles we would be on that chart, because we'll be at Olean by then.
American 1514, and what is normal speed for you? American 1514, where is the normal speed?
Now the winds are coming from the side right now, 66 miles. Oh yeah, we're getting whacked. What do we have? 5:25. Yeah, I'll be in by 6 p.m. Oh, that's beautiful timing for dinner. Oh yeah. I don't know what we're having, but what are we holding at? 26, I said. 26.
American 1514, cross on, passing maintaining flight level 25.
Okay, August flight level 25, American, correct?
Yeah, okay, so flight level 250, American 1514.
August 25.
And we're under 100 miles to go.
Southwest 1951, clear direct to Phoenix.
80, Southwest.
Southwest 231, southwest.
That should be in range, and that should be buck 80.
And when able, maintain 300 knots of radar.
Okay, 300 or better.
Are we in range here? Coming down beautifully. Great, bro. I can't believe we're not on that chart yet. Wow, that's pretty amazing. We're 12 miles from Olean. Nothing but clouds out there. I hope that opens up. Looks like there's a patch right there that opens up. Hey, Flight Sim Center. And Stylings. Oh, I didn't see both of you sneak in there. How's it going? Yeah, I'm back. I'm trying to get the simulator where it's so easy for me to just run X-Plane 12 or run MS 2020. Right now, I've got X-Plane 12 running beautifully from Trenton on down to Clearwater, and then I'm going to do the turnaround flight in MS 2020. So really, all I have to do is take these two HDMI with the remote, change them from 2 to 1, and turn off those two computers. Turn off X-Plane, turn on MS 2020, and we should be good to go. So we're going to see on the way back. Oh, there we go. We're on that chart now. Coming into Olean. And Olean, we should have 8.9 on the fuel. We're at 8.9 right now. We should have 8.2 when we get into Clearwater. So I would say we're good with the fuel. And she's coming down beautifully. 185. It looks like it's opening up, so how about I give you a view out the front window there. And where is the... Here's the front view. Oh, thanks, Flight Sim Center. Yeah, being able to go between the two of them is something I wanted to do for quite some time, and I'm finally being able to close in on it. Thanks to Niles, thanks to Duncan, having a hand in the hardware-software interface, as well as the glass screens. So I could actually run P3D as well and Sim Avionics if I wanted to, but I really don't see the point of running P3D. So I'm really not going to install that just to install it. Fuel is right on the money. Believe it or not, I prefer flying nighttime in X-Plane 12 over MS 2020, and I prefer obviously flying daytime in MS 2020 because of the, you know, the photogrammetry and the the actual tiles. So 737-800 Norway. How's it going, man? Yeah, we're on our way down. It has been a beautiful flight from cold and dark so far, so it's been a really great run. And yeah, it looks like it's breaking up. We're going to have a decent view on the way in here. Let me have that back. Oh, I don't want that. Let me have that.
November 36 Bravo is going to maintain 3,000. 3,000.
And we can continue. That's up and in. Give me the approach chart. 36 on nav. Let's bring that up. And that's all done. That's done. In. That's in. You're done. You're done. You're done. And we're coming up on 18. You're set. 18.6 right now. Bleed air panel packs are set to auto. Pressurization land altitude is in. Passenger signs are on. Auto brake selector is set. Flight instruments and radios are set. Altimeter, local QNH is in. Recall. Now we got a clean board. And landing data, we got to put re-ref minimums in. That's the only thing left. Okay, local, and let's get you in as well. And we'll be coming in at 141. And we're good down to 12 now. We're good down to 10. Yeah, you know, Stylings, nothing compares to sitting inside this full deck. You know, when I first started flying and I thought just sitting in front of this would be great. But once you get wrapped around inside this whole deck, there's just no going back. Pat 738, that actually has a deck like this, came to one of the Flight Sim Expos, and he had the opportunity to spend some time in here, and he was ruined. From that point on, he wanted a full flight deck, multi-monitors, because he was flying with one monitor back then. So, and I basically ruined him. I also grabbed him to the dark side and moved him over to X-Plane 12. So nothing compares to it, man. Nothing. Concorde Sib, oh man. I can only imagine. You're doing the whole deck with the side panels with all the breakers, and because that's going to be something. Oh man, beautiful. 320, yeah. I'm not an Airbus guy, but that's a beautiful plane. I actually have Pete. He's a JetBlue driver. He spent some time in the flight deck here a couple of times, and he's even amazed with this setup. So to have someone that flies in the real world after getting done flying to come over here to do something in the sim world, it tells you just how nice it really is. And now we're coming in to 30. So we're going out, we're coming around, making a U-turn. And we need to be 240 by the time we get to Pi. We're at 260 right now. We're doing pretty good, right on the money. See, that's one thing I don't have to worry about with the monitors. You have to deal with the bezels, but after a while, you don't even think about them anymore. They're more like a post now, the way I see them. And I've had these monitors, 9 years now, 8 years? So they're getting a little tired. And I've been looking at the 86-inch 4Ks, and the bezels on them are just about non-existent. So I think the next upgrade, they're going to be even a little bit better. I don't mind tinkering with stuff, though. You know, I'd much rather be in here doing this, though. And the winds have really mellowed out now. We're down to 11. Very nice. You just see, what are you guys looking at here? You guys set up here? You got that, and that. I think you're looking pretty good until I change my screen, I believe.
Mike Bravo, turn right at 240. Heading 240, 50 to my bone.
Nice. Yeah, I remember when I finally got up to putting the seats in, man. Oh. We actually stepped back and took a look at the whole deck. My wife actually grabbed the picture. I think we had one seat in. All right, so we're coming up on 10,000 now, so let's light them up. Let them know we're good there, we're good here. And so far, no speed break on the way down. Not bad. And what are we looking at? We've got another 40 miles to go. We're going to come out, make a U-turn, and head on back. There's the airport right down there. And it looks pretty clear, so we should have a decent view on the way in. A little bit of porpoising going on here, though. I wonder if that's coming from FS Realistic, though. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I believe I turned the movements off in there, though. And
24.75, still my phone.
thought we'd be on there by now. Yeah.
Guys, 289, flighting 360, that's your trail. 39. Section 26, left 7240. Left 7240, that's it. Quarter 2124, pattern departure, 118.17, 1817, quarter 212 park.
Wow, what a great view.
Singapore 21 heavy, increase your rate of climb. Okay, it's 95, Singapore 21. That is 295, 310. United 1859.
Oh man, I know the feeling of not being able to get in your flight deck because it's not ready or you're just too sick to get in my case. I was out for 2 weeks. This thing was sitting in here. I was dying. I wanted to get in here. I actually pushed myself a little bit too soon to get back in here, but it is what it is, right? All right, so we're up on that now.
Thousand to go.
Actually, we can continue on down.
1526, directly to LJ. That's the departure, 2475. 2475, direct to LJ, United.
177. A little late there on that. It's a little late. Oh, that's a beautiful view. Oh, looks like the coppers are chasing someone down there. You can see them ripping along the highway. Couple of flickers there. That's some of the stuff that I don't get in MS 2020. And then see how the clouds don't match. So, networking is coming soon enough, so. That was a little bit late here, so we're going to come back out. You want some drag? We'll give you some drag. Not paying attention. I wasn't paying attention. A little bit late. I think the timing is pretty good too, man. The sun looks great off to the right. Yeah, I'm on the drag there, Johnny. Working on it. And we're going below a deuce. Give me flaps 1. Drift out a little bit more, and then we can swing around. Yeah, I'm on it, Johnny. And we're holding 26, I said, yes. And we're straight out, right? Okay.
Thousand to go.
See, that's one of the nice things about basically, I mean, it's not nice being sick, but yeah, I'm basically retired, so every day is Saturday. So I have the opportunity to do this all the time. That's like my neighbors tell me out front too. Man, your lawn looks great. So every day is Saturday for me. I don't work a job all day to come home to have to do the lawn where you can't be bothered, you know? So I don't think I drifted enough there.
2500.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit late there. My fault. My fault.
United 222, he's going to maintain 3,000, proceed rec ready. 3,000 feet, direct ready. Get out, go to 6463, maintain 180 knots, battery still doing, contact tower 18.3, have a nice day. 82 on contact tower 6463.
Okay, we can start heading back here.
520, traffic 10 o'clock, 3 miles southeast, sound altitude indication.
And we're looking at...
Onto 207, 9,000 to 7,000. 207 near close, check island 6, Oscar current, or calculator 3.
The sun looks great coming off the water. Would be nice if there was a little bit more waves, and that's the only thing missing. It's a little bit too smooth down there. What'd I say? 56.
520, traffic no factor, contact approach 127.6, have a nice day. 127.6, runway out. 121 heavy.
Give me 5. I'll take the speed. It's been a great ride. It's a 56 on that, right? Be 10. And we're 15 miles out.
there, 10 knots, limit split two.
Give me the gear.
627, maintain 200 knots, you're going to maintain 3,000.
200 knots, 3,000.
15. So right now that's 228 from the gate. So we're a couple minutes late. 25, and we'll go right to VREF 5.
627, reduce speed to 180.
And 30.
22, 4 from griddy, cross 33,000, clear to ILS 4 right approach, 200 knots, still advised. 33,000, clear the approach, 200 knots, still advised. United,
My bird. I've got control.
United 627, turn 10 degrees right. On the field, over at mine.
So you get those little flickers there.
627, turn 10 degrees right.
10 degrees right,
And we're holding at 26, and you should be at 56 actually.
207 to mid altitude, maintain 4,000. 4,000 on.
I got the airport, I've got the runway. Okay, give me you.
2 Alvarado, contact code 127.6, have a nice day. 7.6,
Tell you, the Zibo Mod just handles so beautifully.
On board, radar is still doing, contact tower 18-3, have a nice day. Say your radar is doing, go tower, United,
Lights, engine start select is, we've got auto brake, landing gear, speed brake, flaps, and they've been notified. Hope that front view is working. And we got an 8 knot headwind. Not bad, well, basically just about headwind.
The 121 heavy, reduce speed to 180, turn left heading 120.
Another beautiful ride. Man, this is it right here. This is the view. Right here. Short final. Beautiful. I tell you, you fly MS 2020 for a while on PMDG, you come in here, this thing feels like a Bentley, man. This feels so beautiful. Man. That's why I'd like to have a bridge, have this run in the show with MS 2020 visuals, but that bridge ain't gonna work.
Oh, that's coming 2475, much better.
400. Approaching decision height. 200 minimum.
Landing.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And I got my callbacks back. Didn't have them the other day. So they're back. So this looks like it's good all around. Beautiful ride, Zibo. Beautiful ride.
80 knots.
TA test. Seems to want to pull to the right a little bit. I may have to do a little bit of calibration in here. And that I didn't do. This is straight from MS 2020, so it's actually pretty good. And we want, you could stay on. What do we have on the way in? Exterior lights is needed. APU start. Yaw damper is off. Window heat switches are off. Probe heat switches are off. Engine wing anti-ice are off. Engine start selectors is needed. They are off. Auto brake is off. Speed brake is down. Transponder is TA auto. And weather radar is set to test. APU is up. Confirm. And that was 229 on the flight. Give me a minute. 229. They said 226. I was off by 3 minutes. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. And this was a great run. I would say this is going to be one of the best sim flights I've ever had. As far as everything working, functioning, by far. Beautiful. I hope everybody enjoyed that run, man. I had a blast. This really was a great ride. And I think I'm going to do the return flight later today after I get something to eat. I'm hoping my voice holds out. I can hear it now, going a little bit. And but that one I'm going to do in MS 2020, and we'll see what that's like, and we'll compare. All right, we're not allowed in there. All right, that's blocked off. Looks like it's all X'd out on my screen here. And we'll make the next right here. And that's well over a minute. So we don't need you anymore. This guy's in my spot, man. I reserved that spot when we left Trenton, man. I guess we'll take this one. And you can come on down. Elegant. That's a flight we just ran. Man, this is a great ride. For those of you that were here with me today, man, I always enjoy the company, man. Thanks for coming along for the ride. And this was a good one. I like this one. Alright, you're down. Anti-collision's off. No smoking seatbelt sign. I'm not worried about the doors because then I'd have to lose this screen. And then I won't be able to see what's going on here. So let's continue with shutdown as if all these passengers were in fact gone, and see if we're good on the back end. Alright, we're just going to shut down completely. We're not going to go on ground power, but we're on APU right now, and we are on APU power, and those are off. Fuel levers to cut off. Anti-collision light is off. Passenger signs are off. Fuel pump switches. Well, we got to come off APU first. So you know what? Let's shut down the APU. We'll go right to that. You can come on off. Electrical power, set galley power to off. You guys got to come off before we start getting that noise. Window heat, hydraulic pump switches. Exterior lights, we're going to shut down completely. You're going to both. Chocks are in position. Well, if they were in position, I'm not going to bring up that panel because then I lose that screen. Okay, so IRS selectors are off. Emergency exit lights off. Exterior lights, they're already off. Bleed air panel, let's get you set. Unconditioned, you are off. You're coming back, and that's all off already. And that's going to both. That's been disconnected. These two are going to standby power and AC/DC power. Battery switch off. That's a wrap. And this was good from cold and dark to securing on the back end. I didn't find any issues with X-Plane 12, with ZHSI, FDSXP, or the Zibo Mod itself. This entire run was great. Only issue that I do notice is they got a little flicker in these lights going on here. I got to see what's going on with that. I may have to plug that power supply into something else, maybe. We'll see. All right, everybody. For those of you that were here, Dessert, Stylings, Greg, who else was here? 737-800. Tom was here. I know Tom was here a while ago. You know, he stepped out. 737. Flight Sim Center was here. A whole bunch of people. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Hope you enjoyed the ride. I'm going to be back later, and I'm hoping to do from Clearwater on back to Trenton, and we're going to use MS 2020 to get that run done. All right. With that said, everybody, take care, and I will catch you on my next.